looking at GDP, spending, things like that, unemployment rate over time, inflation, of course. Other kinds of charts that are popular to use, bar charts or column charts. A bar chart looks like this, and a column chart looks like this. That's good for comparing levels of things across categories. So we could do a bar chart comparing the different kinds of spending, or you could do a bar chart of the GDP of the different states, for instance. Pie charts, that's also something you could do if things add up to a whole, and a lot of people misuse pie charts. So for instance, the kinds of spending there, I could do a pie chart if I really wanted to, for the sum of the whole period. I wouldn't do things that don't come complete though together. I wouldn't do mandatory outlays and then net interest and then exclude discretionary, because then that would be very funky, right? It wouldn't add up to a whole. For pie charts, I wrote household spending shares. So what's the household budget look like? How much goes to rent or mortgage? How much goes to groceries? How much goes to energy, et cetera? I can actually walk you through this in Excel, but this is basically a bar chart. This is a bar chart of the same data, and it's for the whole period, right? So it's not a bar chart of the different kinds of spending for each year over year. I had to sum them together. Otherwise, it'd be very messy if you did spending, if you did a bar for every single year. But this would also hit home the point that mandatory outlays are going to dwarf the other kinds of spending. Again, this is just singular data, though. It's a sum of the years. And then here I have as a pie chart. Any questions? Did I lose anybody? Okay, good. FYI, we talked a little bit before about on the reference link page. There's a lot of government data there, of course. A lot of federal data, like federal budget data, inflation data, et cetera. There is a lot of state level data that you can find on that page, particularly the BEA, the BLS provide a lot of state level data. I bring this up because perhaps your boss from wherever your bosses are from might say, well, what does my district look like? Or maybe not necessarily district, but what in our state, like in Michigan State, what was GDP? That data exists, and you can find that here. You can find that you can go to our Fiscal Lab reference link page and then find the relevant data underneath. And then, let's see, how am I doing on time? I did have one more exercise. We're going to add what's called the Fred Excel add-in. So let's go to Excel. Let's go back to the data we were in. All right. And let's see, I want to find.
If you guys haven't used this within Excel before, getting this into your program and getting it added on there can be an absolute game changer in terms of being able to, like, your boss asks you, whether it be domestic or international economic information. And just have it at your fingertips as a tab in your Excel program is awesome.
I added this in at the end because it can create issues depending on what version of Excel you're working with. So I need to find the add-in, and usually there's a little button that says Get Add-in here. Okay, I apologize. On my computer at home, I was able to add in this little button that would let you get access to Fred data. And the way it would work is, and I apologize not be able to show it right now, you find this Excel Fred add-in, and how you install it depends a little bit on what computer you have and what year it is. Is it Microsoft 2019 or is it earlier? But once you follow those steps and you get the add-in plugged in, there's going to be a new tab on the ribbon across the top that says Fred, and there's going to be buttons for finding different kinds of data. The button specifically for finding US data, international data, so you could pull up the CPI data we were looking at earlier. There's also a button for manipulating the data called data manipulations, so you could then transform it into the year-over-year rate, for instance, what we were looking at before. Anyway, those were my exercises.
One other quick thing on the Fred add-in, as some of your IT folks in your office may be like, okay, we don't want you to incorporate something from outside of the congressional structure. The Fred add-in comes from the Department of Energy's Energy Information Agency. It is a federal, so I mean, it's in my mind, it's the safest add-on that's out there. I mean, blame the executive branch if there's an issue with it.